Okay, good afternoon, Facebook and YouTube. As you see, I got a new little project going. Actually, this whole table, it's basically it's a little table you can get from IKEA, and then the glass the glass features that you see, which is a cylinder. That's a 3-gallon bowl, and then this is like, I don't know, not even really a half-gallon cube. This is a little project I'm doing. I'm only going to really focus on this one, which is the bamboo cube for now, because the other two are still underdeveloped. But the thing about these cubes, I had made one of these before when I lived at my house in Pittsburgh. I had it for about maybe a year, and it was pretty much the same setup, except for there was no sand. It was like clay and another kind of substrate at the bottom of it. But I had lucked out, and well, I shouldn't say lucked out, but I had came across a betta fish. I say beta, not betta. A betta fish, and he was actually blind. So I figured that it would be easier for him to be kind of in a smaller setting versus maybe a bigger tank, because he really couldn't see anyways. So when I put him in, I would take like a plastic knife and jiggle it, and as I would drop the pellets, he would follow the vibration to the food. And I had him, he didn't live too long, I would say 3 to 4 months. And I called him, his name was Mercy, because I felt like he was on his way out, but I didn't want him to be in a cup, I guess. I mean, this isn't that much more, but it's a little bit better. And it wasn't this particular one, it was a different one. But the coolest thing actually happened, because I had a bamboo plant in that tank at the time, and it was like maybe about 3 leaves were open, and the plant didn't die, but it didn't grow. But I noticed once I put him in there, before you knew it, the bamboo kind of did like what this one did. It's like, if you look at it, it's splitting and it's exploding, and that's what my last bamboo cube did, but it only did it once I put the betta in there. So I'm saying that to say I'm not gonna put a betta in this one. I don't think I'll ever do that again, because it's a small volume of water. But I think I would possibly consider something small, like maybe there's little guppies or something even smaller than that. I might, or like maybe if you had like baby fish, I might put them in there, because when I had my white cloud minnows at my old apartment, I put a few of them in here when they were tiny till they got to like a visible size, and then I moved them, of course, to something bigger. But that's something I'm considering. And then in the back, you'll see there is a bowl back there. Right now it's just a Java fern and stand. I'm going to still do some more with it. And then this little cylinder, it's actually not little, it's pretty tall. It's like 2.5 feet tall. I don't know what the water volume is, because due to the shape of it, I couldn't really just pour the water in. I had to do it by hand with like a cup. Only thing in here is a plant called Luigia, and then there's like this little stalky plant that has something on it. And then the guy at the pet store gave me a free, I think it's a water sprite. You can't really see it all too well. It's buried in there somewhere. I'm sure that all of these will probably develop snails, because unless you treat it, or if you quarantine it, that's the only way to guarantee that you don't bring hitchhikers home with you when you bring these plants home from the store. This is like my latest little addition. I'm continuing with my journey to the ultimate goal. If you notice my floorboards at the bottom, the ultimate goal I don't want any of that to be visible. So that means that little ledge back there, I want it all to be plants or water features or propagation stations, something. So that's what the vision is. And I do think I'll get there, because one thing about me, I'm a pretty determined person when it comes to certain things. If I have a vision, I pretty much will do it. But I'll keep everyone updated on this little, it's not even really a corner, it's just like a table with a couple new projects on it. So I will let you all know how it goes. And I'm really excited because I actually like Nano Tanks. I love fish bowls. A lot of people talk bad about them. I might as well just say it now since I'm on the subject of it. When I had my original Wallstead bowl, and that's basically it's a method where you have like a layer of sand or like usually like organic potting soil, and then you cap it with like a level of gravel or rocks. And the theory is that the fish waste, but you can't have a lot of fish. You have to have like a whole lot of plants and a couple fish. But the theory is that they will balance each other out. The plants will absorb the fish waste, and then in turn, the plants provide filtration for the fish as well as oxygen. So having said that, I had a breeding pair of white cloud minnows, and I had them in a 10-gallon tank. They did not produce any babies. I put them in this 3-gallon bowl. Well, not this one, but the one I had at the time. And I got like 4 or 5 generations of babies out of it. So I'm saying that to say bigger is not always better. You know, in the plant kingdom, not plant kingdom, in the plant and aquatic fish hobby, people always say bigger is better. But in my experience, that is not always the case. The main thing is that you provide some kind of plant coverage. The water has to be oxygenated, and of course, you want to have a decent temperature. And I think if it's an unheated tank, you want it in the middle. So you don't want it at the high end of what's considered too hot for cold, or you don't want it at the low end of cold water. So you would want it somewhere in the middle, like 68 to about 71, 72, because that's a temperature that technically a cold water fish could endure that, as well as a tropical fish. 72, 71, 72, 73 is considered the low end, but it would not be like ice cold. So at least from my range of experience, I'm only one person. I only speak for myself. I don't always go by science. And I certainly don't always go by my fellow YouTubers. I mean, I do take it into consideration, but I don't consider it as written in stone. I'm a person, I like to learn by, for myself. So for my range of experience, bowls are not always necessarily bad as long as you make the right choice of fish and you are mindful of where it's at and also the temperature. So that was just a quick little video. I kind of said more than what I wanted to say, but this is the latest edition here. It's gonna be more. I don't know. I'm not gonna stop till it's just pretty much all green for the most part along the edges of the walls and the floorboards. But anyways, I'm out of here. This is the Earth Boy, the Sun and the Rain. Loving life, living it, enjoying it. I hope you all do the same. Be blessed. And I will get with you all later. Thanks a lot.